Isidro Quintana. Welcome to the OXBC video interview and podcast. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you for calling me and make this interview because I'm pretty excited to announce our project.
Awesome. You're actually our first guest on the video version of the podcast. So
really? Thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about Triple O Games.
Well, Triple O Games was a proposition that came from the Oxford blockchain program, the first edition. So it was so good that the mentor that it was in that moment, Stephen Dovish, that is actually a mentor.
Yeah.
In the Oxford blockchain program. He told me you have to do this because it's super great, right? So at that moment, I had my old company that I sold recently 1 year ago, and I decided just sold my old company that was a video game company. I started this new one because it had a lot of possibilities. So the idea was born there, and actually we are 3 members from the Oxford blockchain program. One of them is Stephen, and the other one is Sebastian, who is working in the Rabobank and also in the part of the blockchain inside the bank in Holland.
Cool. So with Triple O Games, it's about the gaming industry, and I did a bit of reading up beforehand. But what do you think that the problems facing the gaming industry are currently?
Well, it is tough because we have been since the iPhone came out. We experiment a new kind of business model, a huge explosion of free to play, right? You can play for free, but then you are bombed by a lot of advertisement and in-app purchases and all these kind of things. And of course, having mobiles and new platforms, you have a lot of possibilities, you have a lot of offer. So people have a lot of things to choose. So for the developer, it's really hard to engage the user, the player, to maintain it. And overall, it's super hard to get into the game. So the user acquisition is expensive and more expensive day by day because there's a lot of offer and there's a lot of competition. So with blockchain, I realized that we're a solution to those kind of problems. But overall, that was the problem that the developers was having. But the problem was in the users because the players wanted to be rewarded by the loyalty, no scammed, because they feel like a scam, right? You are playing a lot to a game, and then suddenly you are receiving a lot of advertisement, a lot of offering that you have to pay to advance in the game. So I wanted to change that all the way around.
Yeah, that makes sense. And how are you using blockchain to do that?
Well, basically, first things that we are doing is given the property right of property over the game items, so the user can trade those items, and of course they can monetize that way. We have seen many games already inside the blockchain with this system, but our idea is to facilitate blockchain for everyone. So my mom doesn't have to understand how to make a wallet and purchase Ethereum or other cryptocurrency. So what I want to do is facilitate that. So any person in the world can just pay on their local currency, and then they also can cash out in their local currency without knowing that is the system is under the blockchain system, because at the end of the day, the user don't care about that, right?
Yeah, they just want something to work, right? They don't care that there's blockchain behind, and that's probably the best form of blockchain solution, is when you don't have to use the word blockchain, I think. So yeah, when I was doing my research beforehand, I was looking into Fortnite, and apparently their currency Vcash is the biggest circulating currency in the world. That's insane, right? So that means that I guess that you guys have a massive market potential here.
It's true. We are speaking about 134 billions of dollars. Actually, that is growing at 11% per year estimation. So it's a big market, and it's growing year by year like craziness. And overall, the new audience that is coming, more kids, these kind of people have a different kind of mind. So, for example, last year in United States, kids ask more for this kind of V-Bucks, virtual currency, than for cash. So we have an indicator that validates us, our solution. Not in the market, but at least the market is giving us signals that everything is changing, and there's a new kind of audience, the youngest one, that is giving this kind of signal that we have to do this kind of solution for them. So yes, and you have, for example, Fortnite. This is a big example of how this works. Okay, how they value a game item more than a physical asset. So for them, it has more value a shirt in a game than a real shirt for them. And this is curious, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to hazard a guess and say that there's going to be some OXBC members out there watching this that have never played Fortnite. I'm one of them. I've never played, but it can be a difficult thing to get your head around. People paying money just to have like a different clothing as a character or a different weapon as a game's character that doesn't actually translate into any value outside of the game. Like for me, that's a really hard sell. So
Yeah.
what is it that Triple O Games are going to do to kind of change that or tap into that mentality?
So this is our final vision. It's really hard right now in all blockchain projects that you can have a cash out into fiat because the regulation, and those are our main challenge. But that's our vision. So because right now there's a huge market on the games already, where people spend a lot of money on game items, for example, and other things, on other game features, and they can't cash out. They can't convert into, they can monetize at the end of the day. They can exchange that virtual currency inside the game, and in some cases in other games, but not in real world. So our idea is, imagine a person who goes to a coffee shop and asks for a coffee and play, and then he have money back and he can pay the coffee with the with his their skills. That's the main idea. So that's what we want to do. What we want to change.
Yeah, that sounds like the potential for that. Knowing that when you put it into the context of V-Bucks being the biggest circulated currency and people not being able to use them in the real world,
Yep.
knowing that context, a solution that does actually allow you to take that value into the real world and buy things, it sounds like it could be huge. Like I can see the potential. But what are, so you touched on the challenges briefly there, but let's delve a little bit more into that. So what are the challenges you're facing, particularly in terms of taking that value out into real world exchange?
Yeah. So right now we have many challenges. One of them it's the one that I told you, that of course banks are seeing the risk that they are not going to be the middleman anymore. So we have to speak with the regulators to allow this kind of transaction between the players so they can receive money. That's one. The other one is that these big players on the game industry, they are so used to make money with the actual model, the free-to-play model, that they are not accepting the new business model that we are proposing. So it's really hard to get into them and tell them, use this model. So this is going to be an innovation steps by steps till it's adaptation of the technology, right? So what we want to do to change that is not just making a platform so we can offer them that. So we are also making a game as a Trojan horse to demonstrate that this can have worth to test it, right?
Yeah.
So that's our mission. Our mission is to make a game to demonstrate that this is this is going to work, and then we can tell them, well, you can use blockchain technology and change the way you can monetize, because not only we are allowing players to sell, to trade, to gift virtual items, but we are also proposing a new kind of economic system that we have to test, that is sharing profits between the players. So let's say if Fortnite made 3 billion last year, our theory, it's if you share part of your profit, you are going to get much more, because there are involved two motivations: the intrinsic motivation that you are going to play because you love the game and you are enjoying, and the external motivation of you are going to make money and you can make a living with it, right?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, the potential to me seems fantastic. Again, I think we touched on this briefly earlier, but in layman's terms, so when you're having these conversations with companies that perhaps are slow to understand the value and are slow to want to move towards blockchain, how do you explain to them the things that blockchain can do that you couldn't have done without the technology?
Well, it's pretty tough because right now, for example, we have been talking with Sony already and also Google. They are open because I talked with the innovation part of the company, and they are exploring overall the technology. But for them, having in mind that we have all the ICOs, scams, and all the volatility of the market, for them sounds a little bit dangerous yet. So they are like, well, it sounds really good what you can do with it, but it seems like there's something strange. So I don't want to be in danger, right? So we have the blockchain community have to make a lot of work to educate not only the society but the company industry, right? All the But it's gonna come. I think this is unstoppable, and we are in the right time to do this. So we are in the right moment, right, to invest in this kind of industry, explore the technology. And in our case, for example, we are using EOS, but now we are exploring to use Bitcoin with Lightning Network and IPFS. So the technology is like burning, like there's a lot of things going on because it's burning, and there's a lot to do. So we are getting, like I said, expertise in many places to teach the society, to teach these developers, to teach other ones that this is not dangerous. This is a solution. This is an improvement over the old system.
Yeah, it's a tough job. It's a tough job. We see it in our day jobs, day in and day out, trying to explain the benefits of blockchain to people who have heard a lot of scare stories and are kind of set in their ways. It's very difficult, but with groups like OXBC and us working on it, I'm sure in the coming years things will change quite rapidly.
Yeah.
So to talk about in terms of where your company's based, you guys are in the Canary Islands, right?
Oh, yes.
Set up in the Canary Islands. Why is that?
Well, the main reason is that we have I mean, no one knows this. I don't know why, because we have been here for a long time and this is happening for a long time right now. But we have, I think, one of the best place in the world, because it offers a safe, stable, and fully reliable economic framework that is fully European Union authorized tax framework, offering a wide range of investment incentives. It has the best taxation in Europe. So for example, we have a section that it means that you can pay only 4% of corporate tax. This is super low. Then you have 45% of deduction for investment on video games or innovation activities, that it can goes to 80%. And then there's another kind of incentives, like if you invest in your own assets when you have to pay taxes, you can save the 90%. So you can invest the 90% of what you have to pay to tax agency to reinvest in your own assets. So at the end of the day, you are paying almost nothing on taxes. And this is because we are pretty far. We are near Africa, but at the same time, we are pretty near from every place. We are 3 hours ahead from London, in the same time hour from London, and there's a lot of connections with Berlin, London, and the best cities. So for us, it's the best place to produce. And then, of course, we have quality of life. People comes here for tourism. So we have one of the best climates in the world. We have one of the highest citizen safety index in Europe. We have all pocket size, cost of living, high speed internet. So we have a lot of opportunities to be in Tenerife.
I feel like maybe you should host a OXBC meetup over there.
Oh yeah, of course. That's a thing I want to propose you guys. You should definitely. We are working closely with the government to allow these kind of things, because what London has that we don't have, it's community. You have all the investment people there, so we can exchange this kind of thing. So we can make networking, and I think it would be super good to have a meeting here in the Canaries for sure.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like something we should do. And seeing as we're talking about OXBC, one of our catchphrases is catalyzing serendipity, which means we like to bring people together from different sectors of the blockchain community and just try and help make things happen. So in the spirit of that, you've got this platform now where you're talking on this video to all OXBC members and probably some through our social media channels who aren't yet members. Who would you particularly be interested in connecting with in the blockchain space? What kind of things are you looking for? What would be useful for you in terms of meetups?
Well, to be honest, right now we are looking for investment. The project is on the MVP moment, but it is true that being in Canary Islands, we are pretty far from all the investors. But not only the investors, also the community, right? The blockchain community. We want to share with lawyers. We want to share with fintech people. We want to connect with technical people inside the technology and blockchain that is developing things on the protocol levels. So we want to share that, of course, because we are experts on gaming, also in blockchain, but these think tank and also the community, right? The community, I think this is the most important part.
Yeah.
Where you share and you put value and you have value back. So I think the most important thing for our foundation.
Agreed. So how can people contact you if they want to talk to you about any of the things you just mentioned?
Okay, so we have a website. It's OOgames.com. So all the information is there. We don't have too much information because it's a landing page, but we are working on to improve it, and people can just write and contact me. Anyways, also, if you want to contact me, you can do it by email, Isidro@OOgames.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Isidro. I'm looking forward to meeting you one day, hopefully in sunny Tenerife.
Yeah, please do it.
Fantastic.
Thanks very much for the interview and for your time.